This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the easiest way to build and run your own website. Hello, everybody. Glad you could make it. My name is Kaylee Ellen, and welcome to another wishlist video. Listen, I remember I said in January, which I know was not that long ago, I reserve the right to basically add more stuff if I feel I've forgotten, because I had a lot of things going on last year. And sorry, I have a cat hair on my microphone, very distracting. I had a lot of things going on last year. I didn't have time to look for plants. I wasn't in the headspace. A lot was going on. Very depressing times. Fast forward to January of this year, and I have more time, and I have more wants and needs and desires. You feel me? So I know that I said I would come back, but honestly, in my mind, I was going to come back in like July, not February. But alas, guys, we're here. And we're going to go through kind of the rest of my wish list. You know what? It's almost a part 2, if I'm completely honest. I don't know what I'm going to call this video as I'm sitting here, but I would kind of say it was a part 2. Oh, before we start, I know this is ridiculous. I normally have to wait in order to film for the sun to pass over the top so I can get my lighting nice. I don't have that kind of time today because next week or this week, while you're watching this, I'm in Ireland and I need to do all my content in advance. So that's that. So we're just rolling with what we've got, basically. So anyway, let's get started. I did actually kind of categorize this. I don't know why, I just felt like it. Although I do think I always do that. Did I not say that last time? I don't know. Anyway. The first category on my wish list, lol, is Alocasia. Now, I forgot to put a couple of plants on there. There is only 2 plants on here. One of them, the first plant I want to talk about, is a plant I've wanted for ages. I even had them in the shop, but they were variegated at the time. It was like 2020. They were worth a shit ton of money, and I couldn't justify getting one for myself. It was just insane. So that just goes to show you, just because I have the job I have, the shop that I had, does not mean to say that I'm able to get things or I want to get things due to the prices. So we're more alike than you think, honestly, because I'm not paying those prices. But now I can probably get one. I also don't want a variegated one. This has been on my wish list before, but I'm sort of reviving it, and that's the Alocasia Frydek. Do you remember the variegated ones? I've always said this about the variegated ones. They look quite nice and sexy, but I actually don't vibe with them, and this is just like a big part of my collection. You will know if you've seen my collection in depth, if you've seen my like plant tours and stuff like that. I don't really have variegates here. It's not really my bag. I do have some, yes, sure, of course. But generally I prefer just green plants. I know, it's boring, I know. But I really, really want an Alocasia Frydek. This has been on my wish list. I don't even know how long. So long, I forgot it was there, guys. Now, when it comes to this house, I do not have any Alocasia, right? I'm pretty sure I don't. I would like one and I want to try one out, and I'm sort of picking that one. However, my understanding is they're very reactive to the light and they might bend around a lot. Not so good. So I'm not in a mad rush to get one. I need to kind of see, to be honest, where I could put it and what I can do with it, because I think if it goes on a shelf, it's just going to grow a bit funky. And I'm a little bit anal with Alocasia. I do like them to be very perfect. You know what I mean? That's literally, guys, that is why I don't have them. That, and they're quite difficult to care for, in my opinion. Me and Alocasia don't get on that well. But yeah, I do want one. I'm not in a mad rush, but it's very valid to be on my wish list. But this is something I found. No idea how the care is on it, what it like costs in other countries, if it's any good, if it grows fast, if it's generally worth it. I have not a clue, guys, but I found on the internet something so nice. It's Alocasia Longiloba purple. That would suggest to me there is a regular green form. I'm hesitant to say there's a green and a purple form, okay? Now, I have not looked this up whatsoever. I'm hoping it's not a case of, oh, it's purple due to conditions, and it is actually purple. If you know, then please leave a comment down below. But I've seen 1 or 2 pictures of these and I quite like them. I think there are some listings in the UK for me, only on one or two websites, and it was like maybe £60. I don't really have that kind of money, just gonna be honest. If I have that kind of money, then my pets get that. You know what I mean? I don't really have that kind of money. But eventually I would like to have one. For the same reason as the Frydek, I'm not, excuse me, Nat. How dare you? For the same reason that I'm not absolutely like desperate to get the Frydek, I'm not desperate to get this, and that is purely a lighting growth situation. I'm not in a hurry, but if I did, it would be definitely something I would consider. I need to look at more pictures of it. I want to see how purple it gets. But I love the shape of it. That's mainly like the vibe. The Frydek, it's more like veins, sexy, contrast. This is like the long boy element. Everyone knows I love a long boy. So that's really good. We love that. Okay, I've got one more. bought in Monstera, and after seeing my first wishlist video, this won't surprise anybody, but the creators of this hybrid got in touch, Oddspot Plants, and basically said, oh, have you seen the other hybrid that we're making? This here is Monstera Magic 8 Ball. Now, I'm probably limited in the photographs I can get. I've probably done my best. The Monstera Uno that I mentioned in the last video, it's a bit more available to find, but honestly, if I could describe it, it's very round, hence probably the 8 ball, and the fenestrations are insane. It's kind of like, if you like the look, right, of like this guy here, big, large form Monstera deliciosa, but you don't have that kind of space, but you just, in terms of like the composition of the leaf, you really like the look of it, this might actually be the plant for you. Again, I can't remember if they're in Australia or New Zealand, can't remember, apologies, Oddspot, but if you're over that way, get in touch with them, you might be able to get one. I don't know if it's released yet or what's going on, not a clue. I will probably never get this plant, and I did say that about the Uno as well, but I could admire it from afar, and there's no problem putting it on a wish list. It's fine, it can be there in spirit, but I really wanted to point that out because I didn't realize they had another hybrid. And honestly, in the world of Monstera, there aren't many hybrids out there. We are very, very lacking in the world of hybrids. So there you go, guys, there you go. I am continuously pulling something out of the eyeball region, and I don't know what it is, but it wasn't there before I started filming. It's just happened now. It's obviously a cat hair that's just gone into my eye. Right. I do have some philodendron on this list, guys. Oh, I know. As if I haven't had them all at one time or other. That's the thing about philodendron. It's one of the most popular houseplants in the regular market, especially as well in the rare market. There's just so many hybrids, so many variegated things. Crawlers, climbers, like the whole thing, right? So I'm not a stranger to philodendron, but I have 3 philodendron on my wish list. I know. I don't think they're going to surprise anybody, actually. So it's nothing groundbreaking, to be honest. The first plant though, and I just, do I have room for this? No, I really don't. I remember this being a climber, so I could maybe have room for it. I know I said no moss poles, but I'm starting to realize maybe they're a necessary evil if you want plants with, more plants per square meter, and we have to grow them up. I'm just saying, okay. Plus, since I have those moss poles that kind of gradually build up, I'm a lot better with moss poles. Pause for one moment, guys. I want to talk to you very quickly about the sponsor of today's video, which is Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for around 3 years now, and honestly, I'd never go anywhere else. There's a huge selection of up-to-date templates that are fully customizable to your own branding. Squarespace comes with a really great set of tools to help you with selling on your website, as well as a range of payment options. It's super easy to set up PayPal, Square, Stripe for credit cards, Apple Pay, and in some countries even Afterpay and ClearPay, which basically allows customers to spread out the payments for your products without affecting your plant sales. If you want to create a really sleek looking website, either for yourself or perhaps you're setting up an online business like mine, check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/Kaylee Ellen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And back to the video. But anyway, does anyone remember from 2019/2020, the philodendron, it's got 2 names, it's probably technically got 1 now, Philodendron montanum, now known, I think, as Philodendron roseo-cataphyllum or cataphyllum. Does anyone remember that? I went ballistic for that plant in my shop. I sold them all off. Really sad. I always wanted to keep one. But I always ranted and raved about them. They are so underrated. Honestly, seriously, nobody cares about them. Nobody ever has. Probably ever. But I absolutely love them. I don't know what it is. It's something to do with the leaves. I remember them being very, very matte and sort of rubbery, and they just stand very, very proud when they grow. They're a beautiful plant. You probably can get these obviously on Equigenera and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I took the picture from Equigenera, so if you want one you can. But what I will say is, when you look at pictures of this plant, you're gonna look and go, I don't get it. Like, it's just a green plant, but you just have to see it in person, I think. You have to see a mature one in person to understand. Please, if anybody has one in the audience, can you tell me? Because I'm willing to bet that about 5 of you maximum probably have one. Maximum. But yeah, I just love it, and I really want one back. I'm not in a mad rush because I think I need to get a handle on poles and space and stuff like that. I have too many crawlers. like big ones that are kind of taking up the bottom, and I need to sort some lighting situations in other rooms, I think, because we've kind of filled up this room nearly. I'm going to be totally honest. Anyway, that is the Philodendron montanum, or the Roseo-cataphyllum. Again, the picture looks pretty good, but I understand why someone would look at it and just be like, don't care. Trust me, it's an in-person thing. Right, the next plant, I don't think this would surprise anybody. I've always liked them. I don't think they are as expensive as the ones that I have because they are different types. I'm going to go straight into it. I would like, please, a Philodendron Gloriosum variegated type 2 I have written down. So my understanding is, and this does make a lot of sense, type 1 is the one that I have, the one that you all lust over Instagram. Every time I post it, people are salivating, right? It's beautiful and it is gorgeous. I don't think you can see it on here, but I've got plenty of it anyway. So that is type 1. It's very much, if I could compare it to something, it's like the Monstera albo of Philodendron Gloriosum, right? The other type 2, it's a little bit like a tie. It's a little bit like a tie constellation. The patterning is a lot different, and I really like this pattern, guys. I think it's cheaper, not certain, but if it is cheaper, I think it's because it's a product probably of TC or something like that. I'm assuming that's why it's cheaper, because honestly, it doesn't make sense to me as why it's cheaper, other than that reason. But honestly, you can get some absolutely killer specimens of this plant. It is gorgeous. I wonder if it was made from like mutating a type 1 or something. God, it could have even been made from mine. How weird would that be? How weird would that be? Because a lot of the variegated Gloriosum that has left like nurseries overseas, that is from me kind of thing. The variegated Gloriosum that Enid has from NSA, that was gifted by me. She looked after that plant for me for like 2 years or something like that. Then I gifted her a big wedge of it to say thank you. Best gift ever, I'm sure. That thing was worth so much. But yeah, I really, really want one of these. Again, I'm not going to pay for one. Maybe I would do a swap. So I would swap a type 1 for one of these. If you're interested in doing that, you'd have to be in the UK, unfortunately. But I'm kind of interested in getting one. So get in touch with me on Instagram or something and we can see what we can do with that. Because I'd rather not spend money if I don't have to. Cost of living, guys. Honestly, cost of living. Jesus. Especially being a girlie that lives on her own with her own house, struggling to just trying to pay her bills. You know what I mean? Right. So listen. You'll have seen, some people will have seen this on Instagram already. The third and final philodendron on my wish list is something I used to have. I used to absolutely love it. It didn't do well for me in, for example, the shop, in more of like a neglectful environment. And that is because it's known to be a spider mite magnet, right? I know this. This was always a risk. The thought of this was a risk anyway. But I've decided, hey, fuck it. Okay? So I put this on my wish list and then I immediately went hunting for one because I did this with my Begonia, if you remember that, the white ice. It was a fun 10 minutes of my life, right? But this one was harder to get. So I really fancy what is known as Philodendron varicosum 2 or type 2. I call it the classic varicosum, right? It's also known as the regular form. I called it the classic when I had my shop because it is like the bog standard form. But you know what? Philodendron varicosum, everyone can attest to this, has become so variable. In my humble opinion, guys, most of the amazing features of Philodendron varicosum have kind of been lost in all those different variants. I know there's some really nice one. It's not Bosco, there's like a really red backed one. Like, it's insane. It's almost like a chocolate red on the back. I can't remember what that is. That's a really nice one. But generally, I like Philodendron varicosum for all this stuff, for the veining, for the webbing, for the gnarly, right? That is what I like, and that is what I want. So your boy went and found it on eBay. I know. Don't know if it was expensive or not. Probably not. It was a decent cutting, whatever else. And I bought it, but unfortunately there was a problem with postage and the wrong address got put onto the box and someone else on my housing estate got it, refused it, sent it back, and I didn't get it. So I got refunded, which is great. Thank you. Very good. But also I didn't get my plant. So I would definitely be looking for another one. I have had someone, a very kind subscriber, thank you so much, offer to send me a little cutting of theirs for free, which is so nice of you, honestly. I will see how that goes. I'm traveling probably again as we speak. I'm in Ireland visiting my girlfriend and getting a tattoo. More on that next repot. So I'll see how that goes and I'll let you know what happens. But I really, really want one of these. And it's just, do you know what I mean when I say that all the traits of varicosum have kind of been lost to all these variants? It's not a vibe, guys. I want the original. I'm a little bit worried about the risk of pests and, shit like that. Of course I am. I'm debating, obviously, putting it in the cabinet. Maybe if that went bad, only the cabinet would go down. I don't know. But I want to try. So I'm going to try. And if something bad happens, then it happens. I do have a DIY pest spray that I've featured on my channel a few times now. That seems to be going really well, in all honesty, the feedback from that. So I'm just kind of hoping that it's fine. But that is the last philodendron on my wish list. Right, I've got a miscellaneous category here because I wasn't just going to split it out into different type of plants if there was one plant. You feel me? But first I need a little hydration break. We love a Pepsi Max. ASMR Pepsi Max. So fizzy. Wow, I really thought this sun would have gone by now. It's like just teetering on leaving my skylight. It's on like the very corner of it. It's very irritating. Right, miscellaneous category, guys. The first thing, I'll tell you now, I've ordered this, right? Honestly, just put me back in a regular environment where I can just enjoy plants and bad things start happening, okay? I wasn't even like this when I had the shop because I had so many plants each day. I didn't really think about getting plants. Completely different now. So this might surprise a couple of you. I don't know. The next plant in my miscellaneous category is Caladium White Queen. I know, guys. I know. Now, I'm very concerned the cats are going to chew this one up. But I've ordered it anyway. I've ordered a bulb from a website. I can't remember what website it was. But I ordered it and I thought, oh no, is it going to come at the wrong time? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to plant it. Will I be able to plant it in pond? I'm going to give it a good go. But I think they ship their bulbs direct from like Netherlands or whatever. So I will get it at some point. It did say early February. So maybe it will arrive. Maybe it will arrive while I'm away. Let's just hope it's fine. I really expected it to arrive earlier because I bought it like 2 weeks ago. But I didn't read the small print. So always read the small print. But yeah, I used to have this. If you remember my very, very old videos in the very first house in Manchester that I rented with Mark, I had one of these. I picked it up myself from Netherlands and it was great. I loved that thing. But I think it just died because I moved from a place where I had loads of light to a place where I had lots less light. Then I got really busy with the shop and I was backwards and forwards and it just died. And it's a shame because I quite like it. I would like to try and grow it to the standard of what I was accustomed to when you buy caladiums ready bought. But we shall see. I also want to see what my feed does. I should be really testing this feed out on slightly different plants that aren't, the things we always talk about. And I think that's always good. Not that I would probably reformulate it. I would come out with a different feed for different things if I saw a need. So far, my fertilizer has worked on everything. And I'm not just saying it. And that's feedback I get from you guys. It just kind of works on everything. But it'd be nice to test out. I picked the White Queen above other things. I think a lot of the caladiums are a bit... I don't like the colours, so I picked that one. Anyway, the next plant on my list, I had one of these and I didn't get it out of the shop. It got left and I'm really sad because I tried to look for one myself. Don't get me wrong, the specimen I had was not very good at all, but I tried to look for one myself and they are so much money and I would have to grow it out from a leaf and it's going to take ages. Now, I'm up for doing that. I just need to maybe practice, because I don't have experience in doing that, really. Variegated's easy, guys. It's really sad. You know what? I don't know why these never took off. They're still very hard to find, in my personal opinion, in the UK. You can't really get them. You will find sellers selling like a leaf that you can root. Yeah, great, cool. But it's a dodgy game, that, you know what I mean? I would try it. Honestly, if I had, a few pennies, I would try it. I'm now starting to understand more. Something I didn't understand when I had a shop, and that's the fun of buying in something small, spending, less money and growing it out, because maybe more so in now, like the climate of now versus like 2020 or something, because we've all got the time and we don't have the money. So I completely get it, but I really, really want one. I've seen the Raven version that's variegated and some of it is very, very cute because the variegation goes like a pinky tone. Here's me talking about pink again. What is going on? Guys, I don't know if you can tell, I even have a pinky toned lipstick on today. I bought it very recently and I got it delivered and I was like, oh, it came out the pack. I thought it doesn't look like the pictures online. It's going to be too pink for me. I typically hate pink things, but it looks, in my opinion, quite nice and I'm a big fan of it and I'm going to wear it all the time. What is happening? What is happening? So I've seen both types. I would be open-minded on which type I got. I'm not overly fussed. I quite like them both. Obviously, I will have included pictures on the screen of both of them to show you some examples. Probably side by side, why not? The standard one is obviously going to be more popular. If you were to want one yourself and you want to like buy and sell or whatever, then yes, that's absolutely the thing to do. That's probably going to be the one that sells. But the other one is still very nice. It's still very, very nice. Let me know if you have one of these. Let me know if you've taken, actually, for some advice from me, because I'm learning. If you've taken cuttings from AJ Azizi from a leaf and how well they've done for you. Do they do as well as Hoya? Do you just plant them up? Can you do like a water scenario? Can you do a moss scenario? What is the vibes? Let me know, guys. I would love all the advice because I am considering at some point trying this out. I'm sure it's like £30 a leaf though. It's not actually that cheap. Sorry, my eyeball is going again. Why is it doing this to me? Oh, Jesus. Because now my vision is just blurry. Yeah, let me know. Oh, guys, it's just... Honestly, don't own cats. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. The next random miscellaneous plant. I've mentioned this before. Straight up, guys. I've mentioned this before. I wanted one. Turns out I actually tried to buy one last year or the year before when the shop was still going and it just got lost and I never got it. But I really want, again, a variegated cast iron plant. Now listen, cast iron plants, they are probably the toughest plants of all time. I want to really put that up there. There's a reason why it's called a cast iron plant. It's amazing. I have one growing in a dark hallway with no light. He looks fine. He doesn't grow bigger. That's fine. I don't want him to. I don't want to have to upgrade anything in there because then it wouldn't fit. So I'm fine with that. But I really want a variegated one because they look absolutely beautiful. Not that horrible, what's it called? Is it called a Milky Way or something? Not that. No. This one is way better. I don't know what it's called actually. I'm just looking at a picture of a variegated one. You'll be looking at something very similar. But this is the vibes I want. It's giving like variegated peace lily vibes. It's giving all that. But I just have to let you know how tough this is, guys. I've got a green one down there. And again, I've got a green one in the hallway and they just don't die. And when I say I've let them get so bad, they have been looking like hanging plants. And I've just eventually watered them when I can be bothered. And they've been fine. Absolutely love them. Pretty sure they're pet safe as well, actually. So that's always good. But yeah, we're vibing. Okay. Right, guys. The next category. Is Begonia. Yeah. So, we'll just get right into it, shall we? I found this online and oh my god, it's really nice, okay? It's a hybrid of Begonia Darth Vaderiana and Begonia negroensis. I hope that's how you say that. This is known as Begonia furia. I think it's one person that's made this hybrid and there is a shop selling it. Again, not where I live. So you're in other parts of the world, you can probably get this. It is absolutely, oh my god. I think this is the context in which I actually like pink. When it's on Begonia and when it's in spot form or something like that, I think that's when I like it. And I have noticed if I put like my aroids against plants with colour, it looks really nice. Case in point, I'll throw this up really quickly. This is a photograph I took of my Anthurium veitchii, looking very cutesy, very demure, very mindful, right? With a begonia around it, and I thought it looked great. I thought it was a really nice, I don't know, it just kind of, the plants kind of complemented each other. So providing I don't get begonia that are impossible to keep in this environment, I kind of fancy doing it. And it's part of the reason why I'm looking into these fancy begonia. I mean, that looks like a terrarium queen, to be honest, but you get my point. This is kind of the circumstance in which I like the pink. Definitely dotty, definitely bordering with some length thrown in. That's what we love. But yeah, all good things, all good things. The next begonia is slightly similar. I won't lie. Well, it's not similar, but the vibes are there. It's still long. It's still very pointy. It's got a lovely shape and it's got the pink spots. This is a hybrid of Begonia amphioxus and Begonia malachosticta, which is, I have one of those. I have the malachosticta in my now cabinet. If you have not seen that video, by the way, you need to go and watch my cabinet video because honestly, guys, if you've seen it, you will agree. It's not just about the cabinet and the end result. It's about the journey because I had a 3-hour journey. It's not 3 hours, don't worry. But I had a great time. I had an absolute great time being an absolute idiot for 3 hours. So if you haven't seen that, I highly advise it. But anyway, that begonia is in the cabinet. I think I mentioned this on either my begonia haul or my last wishlist video. I can't remember. I'm not vibing with Begonia amphioxus. I don't know why. I don't think the leaves are big enough and like poofy enough for me, but I do like the look of this. It's very sexy. It's very sexy. Right, the next one. Oh my God. This is lovely, and I don't suppose I'm going to find this one either. This is, if you like dark begonia, this is for you. So I have mentioned that I really wanted some dark, sexy black begonia, and I said, look, I'm not really sure what they are, what it is, what the vibe is. I just know that that's what I'm after, right? Look what I found. Look what I found. This is apparently Begonia SP Kalimantan black with a white tip, and it's so nice. It looks really velvety, and it looks like it's got like little red petioles, and it just, tell me that's not really nice. Is it terrarium plant? We don't know. People in the comments are going to tell me. You're probably going to put me off and say, no, it'll have your life. But I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Can we not agree? That's really nice. And honestly, there is this, and there is another plant on here that I firmly believe, if you actually like aroids, you could like it. Just bear with me, okay? But that one is really, really nice. Love that for me. It's black, it's velvety, it's got little poops on the tip. We love it. This one's very pretty. And this next one is not actually my typical vibe, because the leaf shape is actually not my typical vibe. But I had a different begonia on the list originally, and it was quite accessible. It was Begonia Black Forest, right? And I thought, oh, very, very nice. It looks a lot like Begonia, is it Fanny Moser? But for whatever reason, I've just taken it off. I've gone, look, if I'm having spots, I'm having it either loads of white, like the white ice, or I'm having it with pink with my other stuff, right? But this next one is different, and it's Begonia SP or Spur Miri, and it looks very fantasy, very forbidden forest, very awesome, and I quite like this. This is a very late entry onto the list, but I think it's quite nice, and I do think this could look very pretty in amongst other stuff. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how like something like that could look good with aroids? You don't have to agree with me, and yes, I am pushing a begonia agenda on you just a little bit because I'm really getting into them, and I always said, remember, that I would never get into begonia because they sucked. Turns out I was wrong. But I just think that you could have some aroids and the begonia in with them, and it would break it up really nice, because the thing about aroids, the petioles, you do get petiole and a gap where, I mean, you could probably see it here and there, you know, in the walls there's gaps where the pots are and stuff like that, and it's just a bit gappy, and I do think it'd be a nice bushy thing to fill in the gaps with. You know what I mean? But that's a super pretty one. I think I could get a hold of this. I'm pretty sure, I'm calling you out, the person that I bought the Malachostricta from and you gave me the white ice. What is your name? That's very rude not telling everyone who you are. Begonia. Hang on. Begonia Addict. Begonia Addict on Instagram. Lovely, lovely girl. I saw this on your Instagram. I did see it elsewhere first, but then I saw it on your Instagram and I was like, oh my God, maybe at some point she might sell it. That was my cat's auto feeder, okay? And that's great and all, except I locked my cats out to film and they're going to be very upset. So we'll try and press on. So yeah, I saw that on her Instagram after seeing it somewhere else. And you know what's equally nice? So if you ever have any for sale, hit me up because I'm interested. It's very, very nice. So the next plant is something I kind of want to say. I'm being very presumptuous, but I would like to say, if you like aroids, anthurium maybe, a certain classic anthurium, a certain anthurium in dark form, then maybe, just maybe, I might be able to make you like begonia with this one. Let's just give it a go. I know you're rolling your eyes. I see you. I feel it already. I know you've already gone, no, just hear me out. Are you going to hear me out? Hear me out. Begonia, I can't say this. Give me one sec. Begonia northobaramensis. Okay. I think that's the name of it. But can you just look? How much does that remind you of if a begonia with a forgetii, an anthurium forgetii? I think that's quite nice. And I think that could look lovely. It's such a nice plant. I really think you could give it a go. Not saying you have to, but I'm just saying it might be a good idea. Is there any more on Instagram? Just checking while I look at this. Yeah. Oh my God, Begonia Addict has one of those as well. Begonia Addict. So I'm giving you all the love today. You have one. I see it. I see it on your Instagram. Oh, I just think that it has potential. That, and honestly, even things like the black one with the white tips could maybe convince people to like it. I'm not saying it looks like an anthurium. I'm just saying you can sort of see a parallel. Does that kind of make sense? Please agree with me. Please agree with me. But that, as it happens, is the last of the plants on my wish list. Listen, I really don't want to have to come back in 2 months and make another addendum because it's going to get really old really quick. So I will try my best. If I have more at any point, I'm going to save them for summer and we will do a midpoint check-in, right? And I will even go through, like I'll do quick fire of all the ones I've had on my wish list and see if I've got some of them, because obviously a couple of them I have ticked off. But apart from that, guys, thank you very much for putting up with me and my need for houseplants. It's tough out there, okay? It's tough out there. I'm in the world of eBay and Etsy for cuttings now. It's not something I usually navigate, so it's going well though. It is actually going well. And I've had some really good luck with sellers. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to let these cats in because they're going to be so upset with me because I have stopped them from effectively eating their lunch. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.